So it begins. I got to say, I'm really glad to be here at the Firey Gizzard here in Tracy City, Tennessee. Dodge, he's been in the car for 2.5 hours. He's just happy to be out. He doesn't even know what he's in store for. Our plan is to hike to a campground only 2 miles from this site over here at the Foster Falls. Let's first go over here and check out Foster Falls and see what we got. Yeah, it's pretty much what I was expecting when I was driving up here. The fog is pretty thick and the mist is covering the area. Right now, you can't even really see the falls. It's there, but I can't really see them. Come on, Dodge. So, as I was saying, the plan is we are going to hike to the Small Wilds campground. We're going to set my tent up and drop off any unnecessary supplies. Then we will hike back to here, the Foster Falls trailhead. I will meet a friend of mine that I went to high school with who lives in this area now. He has agreed to drive me to the Grundy County trailhead. So come on, Dodge, let's go ahead and get to camp and get set up. Just so cute. Look at this spot. You get the little bridge here, a little waterfall, and I have been here when this waterfall is raging, throwing water 10 feet out in the air, crashing down to the bottom. But we've had pretty much a pretty good drought this year, so there's not as much water in a lot of the creeks, especially up high in the hills. Look at this view over here. So I can't decide which is better. Right here off the cliff, looking over here at the valley, looking at the cliff wall. tent has been set up, and Dodge and I return to the overlooking edge. I retrieve my camera and proceed to hike back to Foster Falls. A friend of mine, whom lives in the area now, has agreed to give me a ride from the Foster Falls Trailhead parking lot to the Grundy County parking lot trailhead. Thus beginning part 2 of my hike from the Grundy County trailhead to Small Wilds Campground. If Admiral Akbar was to hike this trail, he would say about this trail, "It's a trap." This trail is very beautiful, and it's very treacherous, and it's very savage. You don't have time to take pictures, but then the trail will give you the most beautiful scenes you've ever seen. Don't take my word for it. Let the trail speak for itself. Alright, so as I catch my breath, Dodge is going to help show some more of the trail here. Oh man, I'm telling you, this trail is savage. This old man is feeling it. Come on. Dodge! Good boy, Dodge! Dodge was like, hell no! Hell to the no, Dodge said. What was that all about? Some kind of dog wash? That's in the middle of the trail, a dog wash. Whew, that is my favorite part of the trail. Well, we are still on the Firey Gizzard trail, and it is absolutely beautiful. I stopped to take some pictures of some fall colors over here, and then I noticed the sun setting over here. And if you'll look to our left, you'll see 4 more miles of trail before I get to the campsite. That means I'm going to be hiking in the dark. Let's go. Morning came, and not a moment too soon. That was a long, rough night. Me and Dodge packed up camp because it was raining and the weather was going to get rough. Darkside and I heated up some coffee. We packed everything up and got ready for the trail. Check it out. Yesterday, I had this on time lapse. I had the fog rolling over the hills, taking the slow picture. But this time, I don't have to. The fog is rolling smoothly and quickly right over the hills, right over the, and it's just the beginning of autumn. The leaves are going to turn just a little bit more, be a little bit brighter, but right now it is so much autumn right now. We gotta get going. I'll check it out from a couple of the other views, but this has always been my favorite view. The park is beautiful. Look at these leaves. I don't know if it's coming out on the camera, but it's that bright coral, salmon, oranges, peaches, all of it against that neon green of the trees, the dark trunks going straight up in the air. This makes my third time completing the trail. I knew better, but last night, last night, I wound up having to hike the last 4 miles in the dark. As soon as I passed Ravens Point, then I went down the gully right past Ravens Point, and then the sun was setting. So I was stuck. Boy, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. I was stuck. Look at those trees. I was stuck hiking the last 3 or 4 miles, 3.5, 4 miles. I know it's 4 miles in the dark. Something that worked out surprisingly well was bringing Dodge. It's a little bit of an extra hassle bringing a dog. I've had to carry his food. I brought him a blanket to sleep on. His leash, his harness. It's a little bit extra. I had to bring a tent because usually I'll be hammock camping, but I do not know that we both could sleep in the hammock, or if he would sleep under the hammock. So I brought a tent. So it's a lot of extra work. But yesterday I had to hike 3 or 4 miles in the dark, like I was saying. And had it not been for Dodge's keen dog smell keeping us on the trail, I would have gotten lost, or at least taken a few more hours, because it was hard to see the trail. It wasn't as well, it's well marked, but at night everything looks the same. So if it wasn't for Dodge and his dog senses, it would have taken me an extra 2 hours. Well, here we are, Foster Falls. The rain is starting to come in pretty steady. I was not able to take as many pictures as I wanted to on the way back here. It's only a couple of miles, and me and Dodge did it pretty quick anyway. The leaves and everything were tremendously pleasant to see. I'm trying not to say beautiful so much. I said beautiful so much, I'm trying to come up with other words. This